Poverty-stricken environment. Had goals and dreams and aspirations of becoming a great citizen and a professional NFL player ever since I was young. I was exposed to a lot of things, seen a lot, probably seen a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to see. But that's what happens in our culture and in urban areas, and we all know that, and we're all fond of that. Got exposed to dogfighting early, vicariously learning from the older guys and the people that I was around, and really didn't have any guidance. Didn't have anybody who could pull me to the side and say, listen, this is not the right thing to do. Take this dog, take this cat, and try to train it to the best of your ability. I never tried to educate myself when I was younger, and that's all we knew. And I got caught up in the culture. That's no excuse, because my mom told me right from wrong. My father told me right from wrong. And it was my choice to use that correctly, and I didn't do it. But as I was involved in this activity, as I grew older, I continued to be involved, but I continued to do the right things. So I straddled the fence a little bit. I come home and do my schoolwork, and I go out, go to football practice, play great Pop and Winter games, and at the end of the night, I would walk my dog into the alley and leave it there all night. No caretaking, nothing. But that's all I knew. Went on to college, had a great stellar high school career, had a great stellar college career. Got drafted first round to the Atlanta Falcons. Had a great 6 years, had a great run. And at times, I was still caught up in what I was doing in the dogfight situation. Really didn't think about what I was doing. Never thought I would get caught. Always thought that because I had some money, and that things would go my way if I was ever to get caught or ever to fall into the trap of being exposed. So I never really thought about what I was doing. Just thought about the outcome, if I got caught, and how I would handle it, being that my financial situation was where I wanted it to be. Train of thought was all wrong, all screwed up. Didn't have anybody to tell me right from wrong. But at the age of 21, I thought I knew it all. So who can tell me what to do at the age of 21 with all the money in the world? So I'm gonna do what I want to do. So that was my way of thinking, train of thought, irrational decisions. I had used poor judgment. I had people around me who didn't have my best interests at heart. But fly home every week to go home and fight dogs. For what reason? I don't know, to this day. Something so pointless. I should have been spending my time studying my craft, trying to become the best player that I could be. But I'm involving myself in violence, dogfighting, something that's pointless. And then you hear me say that word, over and over again, and I continue to reiterate that. Over the course of my 6-year career in Atlanta, I really didn't, care about what I was doing. I didn't even think about what I was doing, or how people would perceive what I was doing if I was ever to get caught, ever to get exposed. I only cared about myself. I didn't think about the animal. I was only in it for my own amusement, which was dead wrong. I never thought about something so pointless. And for the life of me, I can't understand why I did it. It wasn't until the allegations of me being involved in dogfighting and my house was raided, strolled across the sports center, and I finally seen that I was exposed. But still, at the time, I'm thinking that I was going to get myself out of that situation, because I had money, I had a good team of lawyers, and I thought, that things would work out for me. But that wasn't in God's plan. I think my plan, failed. God's plan worked. And that's the reason I stand here before you today. that's the reason I'm helping and eradicate dog fighting. I became an animal rights advocate because it was meant for me to be here. You know, I look at the crowd and I say, "Loud, hold it, I won't offend you." But it's an older crowd, you know, and you know, I've been, you know, speaking to a lot of kids, you know, for the last month and a half, and that's the demographic I think we need to target because they're exposed to it. As you know, as older people, because I'm older too. I'm older now too. You know, we know better, and so when you know better, you're supposed to do better. You know, and that's my motto. And you know, I never thought about that until I was incarcerated for my actions. And now dog fighting is a felony in almost every state, I think, except two. Yeah, so it's a felony. So unless you want to spend time in prison behind something so pointless, then go out and do it. I encourage you not to, but you're going to get caught and you're going to prison because they're cracking down on you. You know, it's a horrible thing. And I wish I would have never did it. I can't turn back the hands of time. You know, I can only control the future, control what I can control. And that's by helping our people not be involved in this activity. And I'm excited to be working with the Humane Society. You know, I'm excited to be standing before you because I think I can make an impact on a lot of different people. And I think people will hear me out, especially our kids, because they're the ones who are the targets and the ones who have to live every day, you know, with this madness that's going on around them. You know, so I encourage, you know, us, you know, as being adults, being the guidance, you know, for these young kids, you know, to make everything work for them, and for them to see everything in a totally different light. So, you know, as I continue to work with my diligent efforts with the Humane Society, you know, I want to continue to see the numbers drop, you know, as far as the activity that's going on in our areas. But we have to help. We have to be the ones, we have to be the teachers, you know, as adults. You know, each one teach one, and that's my motto. You know, it's a shame that I had to go through what I went through, and now I'm trying to be an example of change because I don't want my kids that have to grow up and, you know, hear, you know, all the things that we know they may hear, you know, when they're in school or, you know, whether they're, you know, they're out in public. You know, I don't want that for them. So my objective is to be the best citizen I can be, you know, in the community and, you know, help and eradicate, you know, dog fighting and violence as a whole. So I'm excited about it. The thing is to make the most rational decision at the end of the day. Use good judgment. Stay committed, you know, and stay dedicated. And that's what I've learned over the last 20 months. Because it's nothing like being locked down 23 hours a day, having time to think about, you know, what you really did when I was in a position so powerful, you know, and at the pinnacle of my career. My fiance, she right there, she told me plenty of times, you know, she didn't know about it, but she knew something was going on. You know, I'm up at the wee hours of the night. Dangerous for me. I may not be, I may have not been standing here before you today. Who knows what could have happened 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, when the fight goes. You know, so, I'm blessed because I'm able to stand here before you, and I still have my life, because you're dealing with a totally different group of people. It's almost like being involved in the streets and dealing drugs, you know, in the criminal life, and it's crime. So I encourage you to do the right things at the end of the day, make the best decision possible, and help in eradicating dog fighting. You know, we usually have literature and we can pick up and read and educate yourself, you know, on the best way to train your pet or treat your pet, because at the end of the day, we're the alpha to that pet. You know, so I encourage you, don't get involved in this activity. Stay away from it, because nobody deserves to be in jail. You know, idle mind is the devil's playground, and that's what I had to deal with for 20 months. So I encourage you to do the right thing. Use me as an example of what not to do. Thank you.